Hey everybody, it's Marty the JavaScript Party and my buddy Rhett. We just got done with our voice voice web analyzer video. Very, very close to being done with that project. So this project's like we had pretty good experience yesterday because basically um, we basically wanted to make this icon show properly when you're in edit mode and behave, and basically need to take another round at making sure that it's behaving the way we were hoping for. So we're gonna have add viz. The way it works right now is then when you click in this mode, you get this update button. When you click here, it splits everything up into two things. Now what we want to do, this next effort is going to be to show our visualization inside of here. I don't even know what this is anymore. I think this is the edit component. And we really need to probably this will be the time to kind of put some thought into, like, we probably want a different component in here. We are going to have a different component up here. So this is I'm guessing our update layout. So it looks like I'm really starting to settle in on the word update as opposed to edit. You see edit and update used, and they're very, very, I cannot think of any difference between the two of them. I think they're 100% interchangeable. Yeah, I think. Anyway, so we're divided into two sections. We have this section here, and this is our viz, and you can't even see it because it's black, black text on black. And then we have our editor here. And what we want is, I'll tell you what we want, what we really, really want. We want to show visualization number one in this area. And I know that we have a component for visualizations. Yeah, it would be this component here. And this component, it's been a while, it's been a minute, but this component has a, see, what does it have for inputs? It doesn't really have any inputs. Oh yeah, input. It has one input, and that's the ID, which we get from up here. So I guess that would be the first thing to do. Is let's go ahead and get the ID. We could hard code one, that would be another approach, but let's just go ahead and get our ID so we can give it. So let's print out our ID. Our ID comes from the URL. So let's do that. So we're going to put it right in here so we can see it. And once we see that one up there, we'll know that we can editor for ID. And so that is not happy because there is no ID. And the ID is something that we're going to get from the route, I think. But for now, I'm going to set it to 0. And I don't, oh, ID equals 0. And so editor 4 is 0, but we actually want to get the editor from up here. And we only want it to show the visualization if we have an edit value that's not 0, right? So that is cool. I think, okay, so in my route, I think it matters. So this is where my brain really struggles, in that there's a place where we named these, and it's a whole section place. It's not discoverable, right? You can't write the code and just follow the code and figure it out. You have to remember that we have our routes, and we set things up in the routes. And in the routes, we have identified what this is, and I call it update ID. Okay, so I think I need help from ChatGPT. I know that I have, well, okay, let's just, sometimes you really need to hold ChatGPT's hand and be like, because it'll lead you astray if you don't tell it exactly what you want. But I have this. Let's just see what it says about this. I don't think this is enough information to do the job. Working in Angular, routing setup, and I have this URL. My question is, how do I get one in the component? And let's just see if that's enough information. Okay, so yeah, so it guessed that it was probably called ID. That's a good guess. Now it's saying that in the component I need this activated route module. I think that's a module. I don't know. It might be. Who knows? So let's come over here to our component. And come over here. It comes from Angular router. I'm just going to put my mouse over it and see what it calls it. I don't know what provides access. See, it doesn't really say what it is. If it's a module, like, what is component? See, this is component decorator. This is, it doesn't really say what it is. It just says it provides access. So I think it might be a service. I'm not sure. So then we bring it in, and I prefer using the inject. And inject comes from Angular core, and I believe it's the lower. There's a upper, this is a decorator, and this is a function. So we want the function. The function. And we're going to declare that up here, and we're going to call it route. Equals route. Is it activated route? I think it's activated route. I wonder why they do that. Activated route equals inject and activated route. So basically this, what I'm doing here is the same as this, and I believe that was like Angular 15, maybe Angular 17 that this inject came about. Now they're saying on the ng init, so we have to do this. We have to, well, it's probably faster to do this. And it's kind of interesting that it's upset that I did this ID. So it's a string. You know what, I'm just going to say that this can be a number, and then we're going to add a semicolon there, and we're going to add a colon here, and we're going to say that it could be a string or a number. And that will provide some sort of help for me when I'm writing code to say, hey, you're trying to interact with this as if it's a string. But it could be a number or something like that. Like basically use it. It should help me like in some edge cases where I might end up with a string getting to where I want this to be. So anyways, now when I hit this, I'm hoping, let's go back over here. Okay, editor for one. So now let's do, yes, here. Because we don't actually have any. It just reloaded that thing. So we may at some point say, you can, if that, like who knows what we're going to want to do with the edit. Like if you go to an ID that doesn't exist, like maybe we'll create a new one automatically. I don't know. Probably not. I don't know what I'm going to do though. Okay, so this one is probably like 13. 18. So there seems to be, yeah, it goes, let's actually be curious. Let's go back to here. So that one's 9. The first one is 1, and then 9, and then 18. I wonder if so. It almost seems like there's an extra one being added. Um, and this is just a curiosity thing. So is this going to be 27? No, 40. Oh, that's because the animations also have IDs, and it's creating animations when it's not supposed to. So we really, that is a pretty good thing in the future. Is I mean, that's a pretty good thing to keep an eye on. So I know I have some sort of bug because every time I come in here, um, and I look at this, these get faster and faster just by moving around, which shouldn't happen. So obviously I have some code that wherever I put the animation code, um, is doing stuff. So anyways, so that's good though. So we have the ID, um, update, and so now since we have the ID, we can say if ID is not equal to, okay, so I think I want this to have to be a number because I think the viz component has to be a number. Yeah, so we'll do this. Okay. So let's go back there and see what it suggests for, so I need my ID to be a number. So into a number. There's like a lot of ways to do this, and I've never really, I don't think anything has ever, um, like I've ever seen like a clear winner of the best way to do something like this. Number. I don't know what that's all about. That little exclamation mark. Okay, so now let's go back to here. So it's definitely doing 40, but it doesn't exist. So what, yeah, what do we do if, because if we were to go back here, see there's none because it reloaded with that. I don't know what to do at this point if it doesn't exist. Seems like we just want to push to the custom page, or maybe to the tabular page. I don't know, but let's worry about that in a little bit. For now, basically what we're looking to do is pull in our viz component, which is a selector. And I don't know where I want to put the intelligence of handling the 0 case. Probably in the template, because I don't think this handles 0, like having a visualization that doesn't exist or anything like that. So probably makes most sense to add it into here. I'm not 100% sure on that, but and then ID, ID like that, and I think we want to do it like this, and I think we want to come over here and we want to bring in app viz. I think we have to pull it into here, right? Is that right? App viz. I don't know. I know I use it over, let's see, over here in tabular. off the top of my head how you use these. Service, viz component, see viz component. So I do bring it in right there, viz component. Viz component and import it. And then I think that's fine. Over here. Be specified. Maybe it was this. I just called it ID, but it looks like it's an ST.
Ready?
So you probably know this, but basically this is a variable that was assigned, that was defined in the component, and then when you put it in parentheses, that means that it needs to look in the memory of the component, not like if I didn't have that, I could do this. I mean, I could just hard code it to 0. Now I think it might be upset because, yeah, it's a string. I don't know if you can do this. I'm curious. Number. No, you can't do that. What about this? 0 times 1. No. Anyway, so it's upset because when you have it do it this way, which I don't really know what that's called, where it's not bound to memory, then it makes it into a 0. And I don't know if there's a good way to like cast it, auto cast it into the hard coded number into a 0. But we only want to do this if it's a if it's greater than 0, if the ID is greater than 0. So I believe you do it like this. I don't think it was, yeah, it's not asterisk. I think it's hashtag. ID is greater than 0. So it won't do anything. Nope. Was it percentage? I can't remember. I can't remember. Let's look in here and see if I have a good example. Nothing there. App custom layout. Oh gosh. I don't know why I don't remember this. I think we did have some in this app layout menu. What I'm looking for is this. Okay, so it's an ampersand. So I tried hashtag and something else. Ampersand. If ID is greater than 0. And then we'll add one. Doom, and then I have no idea what's going to happen here. Okay, so this is nice, but I want this to be the full width. Inspect. So if we inspect this right now, I believe it's just stuck in the corner. But I want this visualization to be 100%, 100%, and then I want this to be whatever the width of the visualization is. So that is the next thing that we have to figure out, is how do we make this guy 100% in 100%. And I don't know where that 200 width comes from. I'm guessing there's a left. And let's see. I don't know. I'm curious. Okay, so that's the app viz itself. But inside of the viz, it's got a visualization class viz. And then, but it should be, and then this, yeah, over here in the CSS, it's set to be a viz. So like um, the visualization doesn't realize that it's being displayed inside of the edit. And I don't know if it should care or not. I don't remember exactly how that is set up, but it appears to be set up in the CSS, which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah. So we really want this to not be 200 by 200 anymore. We want this to be, um, well, we want it to be changeable. So I think the viz component's going to have to know if it's being displayed as uh, in edit mode or as individual, like that. It's yeah, this is going to be tricky, but this has to know if it's being edited, and then I don't know, like maybe it makes sense to like have like a global state that has whether it's being whether well I guess it should know. I don't think it should care. So I think that this was a mistake, right? This setting it to, where is it? Setting the visualization style to 200 and 200 was a mistake. That I think needs to be set at a different level, and I'm not exactly sure what. But anyways, I think we made pretty good ground. I'm curious now. Now that okay, so let's add some more. Okay, so this guy he moves round and round like that, like horizontally. So let's just, yep. So that's right. Click that. Click that. And so this one moves like this. And yep. So it is definitely showing the correct one. Man, it sure would be nice to be able to click that right there. Update. Yep. So we are definitely seeing the right one, so that's good. I definitely want to get rid of this 200 here and write some code that, and I don't know exactly where this code is going to live, that tells it what width and height is supposed to be. So that is next. And that'll probably be like more inputs, like the width and the height. I'm curious if I make this 400, and I don't think this is very good. That's weird. So, oh, because it's wide. So it's not, see, it didn't make the actual, see, they're all, yeah. So yeah, once we make this 100% or make it where we pass it in the width and the height, then it's going to be, then we're going to have to write code that then tells the actual component itself, the actual visualization, whatever is doing this, to be different than 200. It's because basically right now what's happening is it's building a canvas out, and that canvas is being set to 200, but the canvas should really be set to the size of whatever its parent is, I think. So this is a big architectural miss, setting these. Now I can't remember if I knew that at the time. I might have known at the time. I might have been like, oh yeah, this is going to be a miss, but I don't know how to code this right now. But this is the time and place to actually code. We have hit the wall. We've hit the point where just saying 200 by 200 works. Don't worry about it. It's So basically, the next big thing that we have to do to figure out what to do next is how to make this size and width change, and um, how to make based on the view. And that's not going to be the only thing that's going to change on. We're going to have other things that it changes on too. And um, then once that's done, how to make the actual visualization based on the size of the parent, and then see if this guy gets shown properly and what we have to do with that. So this is a core architectural thing that I have to work on to figure out before we can move on forward. Um, and this is honestly the kind of challenge that this was the whole point, of going into this specific domain of 3D stuff and all that, because it's just a lot of delicious, absolutely delicious technical challenges that we get to consume and get smarter every time we build one of them. Anyways, happy coding. Bye.